A few minutes ago, the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation officially announced that Russian troops are fully controlling the situation in the Kursk region. According to the Russian military department, soldiers of the group of troops under the designation Sever, together with fighters of Spetsnaz Akhmat, continue their offensive in the Kursk direction of the front, successfully thwarting the enemy's new attempts to invade Russian territory. It is reported that over the past 24 hours, Russian troops managed to improve significantly their positions in the western part of the settlement of Lyubimovka. At the moment, the fighting for this settlement continues. At the same time, it is worth noting that despite heavy losses in manpower and equipment, the Ukrainian army units continue to fiercely resist in Lyubimovka. According to unconfirmed data, as of September 20, 2024, 40% of the territory of the village of Lyubimovka has already come under the control of the Russian army. Moreover, war correspondents also report on the successful advance of Russian troops in the Sudzhansky district of the Kursk region. So, on September 19, 2024, war correspondents confirmed information that Russian Marines of one of the units of the 810th Separate Guards Marine Brigade attacked the positions of the Ukrainian army in the village of Plekovo. It is reported that the Russian Marines managed to break through the defenses of the Ukrainian army and gain a foothold in the eastern part of this village. It is also worth noting the situation in the Glushkovsky district of the Kursk region, where, despite heavy losses in manpower and equipment, the armed forces of Ukraine do not abandon attempts to break through to the village of Veseloy and hit the back of Russian troops, who continue their successful offensive in the Koronevsky district of the Kursk region. Commenting on the situation in the Glushovsky district of the Kursk region, well-known military journalist and expert Yuri Podolyaka said that Russian troops had managed to completely take control of the situation in this sector of the front. According to him, the professional and coordinated actions of Russian artillery systems and operators of FPV drones completely paralyzed the advancing units of the Ukrainian army. Yuri Podolyaka noted that heavy equipment being transferred to this area by the Ukrainian High Military Command is being destroyed by Russian forces on its way. In the last 24 hours alone, the Ukrainian army has lost 5 tanks and 9 infantry fighting vehicles in this sector of the front. It is reported that these are mainly German Leopard 2 tanks and Marder infantry fighting vehicles. The Russian military has already posted dozens of videos online, where the moment of the destruction of German tanks and infantry fighting vehicles is clearly shown. Against this backdrop, it is worth noting that on September 19, 2024, Ukrainian telegram channels reported that the German authorities, led by Chancellor Olaf Scholz, handed over to Kiev another package of military assistance, which included 70,000 artillery shells, several million cartridges for small arms, 22 units of Leopard 2 tanks, 3 units of Gepard anti-aircraft systems, 12 units of self-propelled artillery installations Panzerhaubitze 2000, as well as 100 drones. Moreover, it became known that shortly, the German authorities will also transfer almost 400 million euros to Kiev as additional assistance. At the same time, it is worth noting that Chancellor Olaf Scholz continues to publicly declare the impossibility of continuing military assistance to Ukraine and the need to start peace negotiations to end the current war as soon as possible. Thus, seeing all this, the German authorities have once again confirmed that they are only following the orders of their masters in Washington, completely disregarding the national interests of Germany and its citizens. Let me remind you that starting in February 2022, the actions of the German authorities led to the fact that it was Berlin that became the main victim of anti-Russian sanctions, as a result of which Germany completely lost its powerful economy. Moreover, it was Germany that became the first Western country to send its tanks to Ukraine, as a result of which the reputation of German tanks was completely destroyed all over the world. There is no doubt that Chancellor Olaf Scholz will go down in history as one of the worst leaders of Germany, who completely destroyed the well-being and future of his country in the 21st century. Meanwhile, German heavy military equipment also continues to be destroyed in the Koronevsky district of the Kursk region. So, war correspondents of the news agency Ruskaya Vezna said that on September 19, 2024, in the area of the settlement of Obukovka, Russian paratroopers destroyed a group of an elite unit of the Special Operations Forces of Ukraine. In addition, the Russian paratroopers also managed to destroy the commander of this elite unit and 2 German Marder infantry fighting vehicles. Against this backdrop, it is also worth paying attention to the statement of the commander of Spetsnaz Akhmat, General Abdi Alatanov. In particular, this Russian army's general officially stated that the rapidly deteriorating situation of the armed forces of Ukraine in the Kursk region forced the NATO leadership to relaunch the transfer of its forces to the Sudzhinsky district. According to him, on September 18, 2024, a unit of the American PMC Forward Observation Group tried to approach Sudza unnoticed. However, the Americans were unable to do this. It is reported that they were ambushed and completely destroyed by Russian Spetsnaz during a brief battle that lasted only 10 minutes. At the same time, General Abdi Alatanov noted that the destroyed Americans were not ordinary mercenaries. According to him, they were professional U.S. Special Forces fighters, who were fighting in Ukraine as part of the so-called private military companies. I officially declare to you that the U.S. citizens killed in the Kursk region were not ordinary mercenaries from the so-called Foreign Legion. They were professional U.S. Special Forces fighters who pose as ordinary mercenaries from so-called private military companies, General Abdi Alatanov said. The commander of Spetsnaz Akhmat also added that the forests of the Kursk region are literally teeming with the corpses of thousands of Polish, French, US, Georgian, Canadian, British, and Colombian citizens. General Abdi Alatanov also stressed that as of September 20, 2024, the Ukrainian army and NATO forces had lost 14,300 soldiers and more than 1,000 units of heavy equipment in the Kursk region.